You sleepyhead, get up. Get out of bed, live, love, laugh, and be happy.
Oh, it's such a beautiful day. Beautiful day on the river. Oh, to go floating on the river.
Is my mic on?
Yes, it is. Your mic is now on, Jane. Hello.
Can people hear me?
Hello. We're floating on the river.
Okay. That's one of my early... Am I on?
Wait a minute. We got to welcome everybody before you get started. Welcome to Saturday Morning Live, brought to you by Walnetto Arts and Entertainment. And today, live from Hardy, Arkansas.
Where it's pouring rain.
Pouring rain, a town that's just 999,900 people away from being a bustling city of 1 million.
I can't tell what I'm looking at in the background.
Well, your jewelry is making noise again. Welcome. Welcome to our beautiful cabin here at Hardy, Arkansas.
I'll take it off. Is this better?
Where women, there you go, where women in inner tubes
Well, actually,
are
they
masterpieces.
mostly... Gosh. Hand it to me.
Whoops. Nothing like clipping
Well,
off her
I can't
foot
make
with
these
a
anymore.
microphone.
This is early, and Go-Go was actually prettier than this, but this was designed... One of my first swimming river gals.
Go-Go was a woman that was legendary up here.
Yes, her name was Helen Clausen, and she would, I think she would swim the mile every summer.
In her 80s, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
In her 70s, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen, which is where we are now.
So-
And Jane went swimming yesterday, and Jane is in her 70s. How about
Almost
that?
74, but I haven't swum the mile yet. I have to work up to it, and I need someone to go with me. But a
Well-
mile is from Rio Vista down to the downtown bridge.
Exactly.
And it's easiest. I swam yesterday without flippers, just got in that water.
Come on, people. Wait a minute. We need to. Where
What?
is it? Way to go, Jane.
Huh? What?
Way to go, Jane.
Oh,
Our studio audience is just loving it. You know, it's amazing. Our studio audience sounds the same way every time. But,
Yes, they
hey,
do.
that's the nature of a studio audience. Check out any talk show. They're going to sound the same way. Congratulations. We start this show with exploits. So, congratulations, Jane. Now, you have an assignment today. You want to show your drawing first before I give you the assignment?
I was gonna start inking this,
Ink-a-dink-a-doo.
but I don't know how you're gonna show it. But that's what I've got. I'm trying to finish my set of travels to imaginary lands on fantastical beasties.
And you all interrupted her.
No,
This show interrupted
did.
Jane's flow.
No,
Way to
you
go,
did.
y'all.
No, I don't know if this would show or not. You can't even see anything, but this is the pencil, whatever. This is the pencil drawing. I do it in pencil, and it's the magically custom-made hats from the fairy hats. Well, I may change that. This is why I have an eraser.
I'm waving good morning to Marianne Williams and to Susan Boatman and to Mary Judy Swicegood. This has actually turned into the Swicegood-Williams Boatman show. Thank you all for joining us. So what are you doing now? I wanted you to come up with a logo for Walnetto.
I know you do.
I'm
Well,
a slave driver, ladies and gentlemen. That's right.
I'm still feeling that swim yesterday.
You want to show the picture first before you start on our... See, Walnetto needs a logo. If we're going to be out there and I'm talking to schools, I need to have white shirts with a W on it that stands for logo. I mean, for Walnetto. And let that W be the...
Did you ever tell anybody how we came up with the name Walnetto Arts and Entertainment?
I think we've gone over that story before. It's in the book, by the way, which is about to be completed.
Okay, if you'll notice behind my handsome husband, there's one of my singing divas. That's Madame Butterfly. And look at these guys. I don't know who inspired these. Who does that look like?
Look at those lips. Perfect lips, don't you think? Look at that.
Okay, well, I'm on drawing number. My assignments this weekend. I love retirement. This
Your
5-day
assignment
weekend
is a logo.
Well, my assignment is to try to finish this 20-page set of coloring pages.
But your Saturday morning live assignment is a logo. All we need is a W.
No, we need more than that. Okay, let's see. I mean, do you want it round? Do you want it?
We should have it. Well, it should start with a big W. That's the way I see it. But now you can start it any way you want to. You start with a little W and work your way up to a netto. However you want to do it.
I'm still sleepy. I mean, it's raining.
It's raining. It's just beautiful. Jane and I have been coming here since 1969, and I found a picture of the way I looked when we first started coming up here, and I wanted to show you. It's real interesting. It shows you, too, how people have changed. People always ask me, how did you look with hair? And, well, they don't always ask me. But this is the way I looked. I found this picture. This is me in 1969. And
somebody moved it. Shoot, I can't. You did not.
I want to thank whoever posted that on Facebook, but boy, it sure makes a great legend, doesn't it? All right, come back up, camera. Come on, back up. There you go.
When you shove something up against that, it's going to adjust.
Hey, you just work on the logo, woman. Best picture. What?
I need something to make a circle.
Oh, okay. Best picture in the paper while you're making the logo. Best picture in the paper of the week. This is my favorite one. I love this. The bouncing baby bear. Did you see this? This is I think it's from Wednesday, and I've forgotten where this is. But they were rescuing a bear. Firemen. How many firemen can you count? Kids, how many firemen can you count in that picture? Rescuing a bear from a tree. I would assume they drugged the bear, shot him with a dart. He falls asleep and falls into the waiting fireman's catch-all. Look at that. I love that picture. Don't you know the firemen are going to talk about that? They've probably been talking about that all week. Kids will be talking about it. They'll save the picture and show it to their friends. So how are you starting it? Oh, Jane's off to a good start. We'll show you in a second. The Walnetto logo.
I don't know if you're going. Oh.
So important. So important. All right, what other pictures? Oh, here's another one. Now, from the same era. Oh.
Do you want anything on here
just
besides
had an oops, and I was going to try and make this oops
I'm trying
proof.
To find the picture of you and me that was taken back in the 80s, and somebody's moved it.
Well, nuts.
Where is it?
I don't know, but okay, here's another one that was fascinating. I found this on.
Here it is.
Found a picture of us in the 80s. All right, you want the actual picture?
Well, this is in the 80s, and right. You did have hair.
That's it.
Ain't he cute?
Isn't she cute? Aren't we young? We're in our 30s in that one. Life was good, but it's better now. Ooh, I love retirement. Jane's heard me say that about 1 million times. All right, I found this picture. Somebody posted this on Facebook. This is the second best picture of the week, other than the one I was in 1969. Park Plaza, 1970.
Where did you get all these?
This is right off Facebook, and I've forgotten who posted this, but this is Park Plaza, 1970, and I think that is looking east from Park Plaza. I could be wrong. I've been known to be wrong before, but
I remember everybody used to dump their goldfish in the
you take your
pond.
Goldfish. There was a record store in the late 70s when I started doing dances called Wauzi Records. Oh, I love the music in that store. Oh, I used to buy it, but I'd never play it. But oh, I loved it.
Why didn't you play it? Didn't you do it at your dances?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Sometimes I would play it. Upstairs was the Golden Host Cafeteria. And we loved going to the Golden Host Cafeteria. Did it a lot back in the 70s, didn't we, Jane?
Yes, we did.
One year, this is right after our daughter was born, in 1974, in the spring and summer of 74, there were young people who would take your tray to the table and you would tip them.
I think they were called waiters.
And waiters is a good, they were assistants. Yeah, cafeteria assistants. So you'd get your food and they would take your tray to the table. And there was one young man who had large hands, so large that he could take one tray and also carry Abby in the baby carrier to the table and set it down. I would tip him a little bit extra. And that young man who would help us, he was a teenager, that young man would end up being the head football coach at the University of Arkansas. It was Houston Nutt.
Oh, my.
How about that for a surprise ending to that 1974 story? And Houston was honored this past week by the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and it was wonderful. Steve Sullivan of Channel 7. Hey, in the old days, I couldn't mention that, but now Steve was on stage with Houston, and they did an interview-type presentation, and Houston told some terrific stories. I love the one, he was recruited by Alabama to play for the Crimson Tide, and he tells the story of the late legendary Paul Bear Bryant actually coming to Little Rock to visit Houston and his family, recruiting Houston to be quarterback at Alabama, which, of course, he never went. But according to Houston's story, Paul Bear Bryant is watching Houston and his brothers play a basketball game, and when Houston looks up, there is Paul Bear Bryant in that houndstooth hat who is staring at the game. Houston says to the coach, "Come on in, coach. My mother has prepared a meal. She knew you were coming. Everybody's been excited about seeing you. Let's go in and have the meal." And he looks at Houston and the boys, and without smiling or blinking, says, "Finish the game." So they did. Houston never went. He never finished a game with the University of Alabama.
Did he stay and eat?
Yes, Paul Bear Bryant stayed, and they even watched a baseball game, or was it may have been a basketball game. No, it was a basketball game with Alabama and Mississippi State, and Paul Bear Bryant watched the game and was sitting in one chair. Alabama loses the lead, and Paul Bear Bryant does what many of us do who are fans. He wanted to change chairs, thinking it would bring Alabama luck. Even the late legendary Paul Bear Bryant, who is a legend in college football, did what we all do. I'm going to change the way I'm sitting. And Jane has seen it with me.
Whoa, don't.
I've seen it with hundreds of fans and heard hundreds of stories of people who are the same way. By the way, Alabama won that basketball game.
Because he changed chairs?
Well, apparently he would say it. Here's what Houston said at the end of the interview, and I love this. He was talking about coaching and young men and developing young men in football and working with them. And his words of advice for any coach, and I think it's great advice for all of us. Houston said, and I quote, "Don't tell them what you know. Show them that you care."
Oh, that is nice.
That is wonderful. It's a great advice for parents,
you
for
hit
teachers, for leaders. I'm not going to hit the table.
If you hit the table one more time, you're going to really
mess up.
me
Oh, let's show them real quick. Here's an update of the logo, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to love it.
I'm still working on it.
Look at this, and this is just in the first story that I told. Look at that.
Too curly Q-y?
No, I think, you know what? That would make a great button. Uh-huh. No, a coaster. A coaster.
Maybe. Well, it wouldn't be that big.
No, but it would make a great coaster. And on the other side, you could have my picture, and I would be saying, "Have a drink on me." Get it, have a drink.
Or it could be printed as circular on a square, rectangular format, like a business card.
You are witnessing the birth of greatness.
Well, personally, I like a piece of artwork on front of it, but now that you're more active with Walnetto for the first time in about 30 years.
That's right.
24
Hardy is
years.
a guilt trip. I've taken a guilt trip. I haven't worked with Walnetto. But now
Yes, you
that I'm
have.
in
You
retirement, I'm full-time Walnetto, baby. But we needed the logo, and I think everybody watching is in agreement with me.
You want some color in it?
Aren't you? Everybody's on my side. No, I think black and white is fine.
No, I was
I
going
think
to.
it's looking good.
You sure you don't want color
Yeah, it's looking
in it?
great. Want to
have
tell
color.
you all, Brinkley, you're next. I'm headed to the Brinkley Library next Thursday for an annual trip to the Folsom Library. It's named for the man who owned the newspaper. I know.
It's like Folsom Prison.
Like Folsom Prison. But it's the Folsom Library, and it is in this old family home. They put the library, and it's so cool. It's like a big antique in the middle of the town.
We used to, in Jonesboro, we had, our first library was in an old house.
Uh-huh. And this is not one of those ultra-modern libraries. No, this is really cool. And I got to figure out what book I'm going to read to them. But Brinkley, I'm headed your way. I'll be there at 10 o'clock next Thursday morning. And usually they have a lunch after. The whole town turns out for this and contributes to the annual trip by yours truly. They will each of the kids will be getting, you're probably wondering about that blue wristband. First Arkansas Bank and Trust came out with these when I was at Channel 11. I still have bags full of them. So what I do is I give every child at the end of the reading a blue wristband, so they'll put it on their wrist, and I tell them this will remind you that you are a lifetime reader, and you put that on as a reminder. I can go to a story.
Can you snap it? No, it doesn't snap like a rubber band.
Well, it's kind of tight, but it is a reminder to keep reading. Be a lifetime reader. And I tell them, I kind of joke with them. I tell them, if you ever take it off, I've got an alarm in my home, and so I'm going to know that you've taken it off.
Oh, man. You're
Kids kind of
so
go,
nice.
anyway,
Yeah.
I think that's funny.
Probably believe it.
Wait a minute, did you hear that?
Air horn?
Some kid just took off their blue bracelet. Dadgummit. That happens. Well, they must be playing a game.
You tell them what we're
know the
reading,
one.
what we're reading now.
Jane and I are fighting over Harry Potter.
Well, I haven't read the early books in over 20 years, and the rest of them, 3 through 7, I've read a lot. I've listened a lot to, and I've watched the movies. But it's just fun to read them again, and we found those books. I don't guess I can get up and get it.
No, you can't, because we're almost out of time. But before we go, 2 things. Let's see who all is watching as I scroll down. Do y'all mind if I scroll?
And you only want this in black and white?
Well, I don't know. Well, I tell you what, you all, I'll check the messages and the comments after this show, which is what I usually do. You tell us what you think.
I'm getting
should this
a little
be
more on it.
Color, or should this be black and white? Here's
Well,
update.
there's areas that I could add a little touch of color.
There's the update right there.
I'm still going over it.
Kay Colford says you should get a copy of Miss Tizzy to read to them. It's wonderful.
Miss Tizzy is
Miss Tizzy is a wonderful children's book. I say that. I haven't read it. I'm going to write that down. Thank you very much, Kay. And Susan Boatman, by the way, loves the logo.
Well, thank you, Susan.
One final story and a tribute. In 1967, there was a radio station named KALO, and they had studios in Stiff Station, which was right next to my neighborhood where I grew up. And they had a window that faced Markham, and you could go up and stand on the sidewalk and look in the window and watch the DJ do his show. And there was a DJ that the first DJ I ever saw was a DJ named Charlie Cook, and I was enthralled. First of all, he had a terrific voice, and I used to listen to KALO. I would listen to the KAAY and KALO. And I would listen to him, a terrific voice, good presence, and I was just smitten by watching him. I only went there once with a friend, but I remember it vividly. And this DJ, 8 short years later, would work with me at KARN, and his name was Charlie Scarborough.
His real name.
And his voice was magnificent. This is Charlie. This is my last picture I'm going to show you. Charlie behind the mic, which is where he was that day that I saw him in the window at Stiff Station. He had a beautiful voice. Now get this. When we worked together at KARN at the age of 24, I became the chief announcer, and it was my duty to corral the other DJs and get them to go along with whatever management said to do.
And you did not enjoy that.
No, Charlie was not having it. He was not about to let some 24-year-old tell him what to do. So he left radio and became a freelance voice and would end up being heard all over the world. It was that good. This is a guy that was raised in Pine Bluff. Charlie was a stickler for doing things right, being correct. He demanded it. And the last time I saw him was in the Kroger parking lot. I was on the other side of the parking lot. I started to yell at him, but I watched him because Charlie was angry over the fact that someone was combining the small carts with the large carts in the Kroger holder for the shopping carts, and Charlie took it upon himself to pull out the small ones, separate them from the larger ones, and keep them separate. He does his hands that way, and he gets back in his car and leaves. And I was rolling. That's my Charlie. Charlie Scarborough died this past week at the age of 81. And this is my tribute to a wonderful life. And now, God has his voice back. Congratulations, Charlie. A life well lived. We'll end it with the latest update on the Walnetto
Arts and Entertainment
logo. Can I show it one more time? You're darkening it.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to emphasize it.
I don't want to rush you.
Really?
Yes.
You know how hard it was to get up this morning? It was raining and nice.
Oh, it's beautiful. I've been known to rush Jane. And Sandra Jackson, by the way, says, hello, Sandra. I can't wait to get your reaction to this stage. This is just a stage. It's not complete. Of the new Walnetto logo, which will soon take over the world. And you saw it here on Saturday Morning Live. Yes?
And I have to ink all this complicated picture in. It's just in pencil.
Whoops.
But it's, oopsie, what did you just do?
Nothing. I didn't do nothing. I swear.
Okay. Oh, that's a double negative. You can't not do nothing. Anyway, that's just that's the Caterpillar train taking the in the fairy woods, taking the fairies to the magically made hat tree.
Choo choo.
And it's, if you'll bring it down a little bit, there's a lot of detail I'm going to have to go over with my ink, with these pens in varying size. I don't think they could see a thing on there, but there's a fairy right there I'm not going to show any more pencil stuff.
Kind of dim. Anyway, thank you all for watching Facebook Live. Our Facecast Saturday Morning Live here on our Facebook pages together.
All the way up from Hardy, Arkansas.
Hardy, Arkansas to your heart.
And that river felt so good yesterday. That's the best I've felt in weeks.
If we could put the entire world down that river, First, it'd be crowded, but
No.
secondly, everybody would come out feeling so good.
I don't know, not that many people.
That's a bit much to ask, isn't it? Thank you all for watching. This has been Saturday Morning Live, brought to you by Walnetto Arts and Entertainment, where logos are part of go-go's that come swimming
Don't you dare break
your
her.
way.
Don't let anything happen to her. I can't make those anymore.
She's going to swim to the beach. Thank you all for watching. Good morning. Your Saturday is off to a terrific start. Bye, y'all.
Give her back. Give her back.
We'll see you later. So long. Don't
That's
worry.
not how she sounded.
Don't worry. Oh, okay. You're
You
right.
call us Cousin and Jane.
She called us. Yeah, she'd smoked for a long time. She didn't sound like that. She sounded like goodbye,
No, she didn't.